the universe always says, yes, as you wish, because the universe is one with you and only designed to meet you where you decide you are. You decide where you are. You broadcast it out by the way you be you, the way you live your life, the choices you make, the thoughts you think, the words you speak, the actions you take or don't take. And the system reads all of that, interprets all of that, registers all of that, and says, okay, resonance is this experience happens for them. This experience happens for them. They keep seeing this again and again and again because they really keep engaging this. So this must be what they want more of. So the invitation is received, the gift is purchased by the universe and delivered directly to your door. I know, because I lived this game. I lived it the majority of my life until I realized, I learned, expanded my understanding of myself and the world around me and how it all works and how it all creates and how it all does what it does. And once I understood that, I got to implement. I got to start to live with that knowledge flowing through me as me. And I got to start to interject it and try it on and work with it to see if I could move myself into a new level of playing this game. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the space. Welcome to the space. So, have you ever gotten an invitation to go to an event, maybe a birthday party or a graduation ceremony, a wedding, a baby shower, any type of space where you receive an invitation? And the invitation, it gives you all of the information you need to decide whether you're going to come to that event or not, whether that's something you can fit into your calendar and it's something that you would like to do. So the invitation, it's the key part to connect you with the space. And so let's allow that visual. Are you ready? Let's allow that visual as we think about the experiences we're having in our lives, the reflection we're seeing in the world around us through our own personal interpretive lens. And let's get really real. Let's get super clear on the way in which we have designed the invitations we've been sending out. The invitations we've been sending out, right? Okay, so let's look at this. Every experience we're having, whether we're enjoying the experience or we're triggered by the experience, or it's just, somewhere in between. Every experience we're having, we have invited into our sphere, into our exploration, our adventure, our journey, our path. We sent the invitation. And we put the specifics on the invitation to be registered, read by the system, the way in which everything and all of the things are created, right? Everything and anything. We put the specifics on the invitation through our belief structures, through our intention, through our words we were using about the space, through our feelings about the space. We put the specifics on what we're inviting that space to be for us, as us, in connection with us. What do I mean by that? Well, first off, let's backtrack just a tiny bit. We've talked about it before, but let's talk about it again. Everything is energy. Everything has a vibration. It has a frequency. It has a resonance. And as you are being you, as you're going through your everyday world and everyday life, you are experiencing the energies that are most resonant with you. Now, when you change your energy, your frequency, your vibration, all of the things around you will reset themselves as needed to match you and show up in that alignment. So your body, my body, our bodies are like antennas, and we're broadcasting out an energetic signature. And that signature is within our thoughts, and it's within our words, and it's within our feelings, and it's within our body posture and our gestures and our deep, deep, deep held belief structures that are flowing through our being. They're in our water, because our water holds programming. It holds, it holds the information it is given. So whatever you believe about yourself and the world around you is pumping, emanating, vibrating through your whole body in your water. Water amplifies. And whatever you believe about you and the world around you is pumping, emanating, broadcasting through your neural pathways in your glorious brain. The way you feel, the muscles in the body, the muscles in the arms, the muscles in the legs, the muscles in the back, they all hold memory. And if the feelings are feelings of being left on the outside, or not being good enough, or never being heard, or always being in lack, or two steps forward, one step back, I don't know. It could be anything. Those feelings are held in your muscles, the energy, the vibration of those feelings. So if you could imagine, let's think, let's intend, let's allow. Let's pick one of the feelings. Not being heard. People don't hear me. I feel very unheard. There was a time in my life when that was true for me. It is no longer true for me, if you can't tell. But if you carry, believe, hold, see yourself as someone who no one hears, you're unheard, then you carry that vibration. So that belief has a actual vibrational wave of energy that it is. And so as you or I entertain, engage, send an invitation to the vibration of not being heard, the vibration of not being heard receives our invitation. It actually receives our broadcast. It's a part of the limitless field of potential, as are we. And so it receives that ping of resonance, and it says, ooh, there's a like-minded space. There's a connection that matches me. There's an invitation. And it makes the connection. It shows up in your life. It births, it creates, it designs, it aligns you with this space in the field of not being heard, that vibration of not being heard, being in your body, being in your muscles, being in your mindset, being in your belief structure, being in your words, how you talk about yourself and all this. The field itself, that space of not being heard, registers you. accepts your invitation, buys you a gift that goes with the party theme of not being heard, and shows up and delivers the gift that says, I heard you. Yes, you are not heard. Because the universe always hears you. God always hears you. But the universe always says, yes, as you wish, because the universe is one with you and only designed to meet you where you decide you are. You decide where you are. You broadcast it out by the way you be you, the way you live your life, the choices you make, the thoughts you think, the words you speak, the actions you take or don't take. And the system reads all of that, interprets all of that, registers all of that, and says, okay, resonance is this experience happens for them. This experience happens for them. They keep seeing this again and again and again because they really keep engaging this. So this must be what they want more of. So the invitation is received, the gift is purchased by the universe and delivered directly to your door. I know, because I lived this game. I lived it the majority of my life until I realized, I learned, expanded my understanding of myself and the world around me and how it all works and how it all creates and how it all does what it does. And once I understood that, I got to implement. I got to start to live with that knowledge flowing through me as me. And I got to start to interject it and try it on and work with it to see if I could move myself into a new level of playing this game. And believe me, when I started playing this game, it felt nothing like a game. It felt intense and big and huge, monumental. And then I began to shift the way in which I was looking at all of the outside. And I began to shift the way I was looking at all of the inside. And I reset my mind. I stopped sending out invitations for parties that I no longer wanted to throw. I stopped sending out announcements and invitations for gifts I no longer wanted to receive. I no longer subscribed to the lack celebration. I no longer subscribed to the nobody gets me vibrational alignment. I revoked, removed, and ended my subscription with, it's just too much. I'm tired. I was tired because I was so far away from my essence, my heart, my truth. I was so embedded in the outer, trying to make the outer move, the outer work, the outer look what it like it needed to look according to everybody else. And I was spending so much time out here doing. I was exhausted. The body picks up on it. The body holds that memory in its muscles, in its blood, in its water. It registers and reads your broadcast 24/7. And then the body says, do what we're designed to do. Broadcast this out. The message was given to us by the divine within us. Now we must do as the divine has asked. The divine says they're exhausted. The divine says they're done. The divine says nobody's listening, nobody hears them, nobody believes them, nobody understands them. Broadcast it out. Send out the invitations so that the divine inside this vessel that we are housing will receive that which they are asking for, that which they are confirming, that which they are engaging, that which they are emanating. We must obey the directive of the divine. And the divine is saying this. Broadcast goes out. Field registers broadcast. Confirm. Broadcast received. Initiating response. Matching resonance available. Experience 1, experience 2, experience 3. Let's keep them, this person, me, you, the individual. The field says, let's keep them where they say they'd like to be. They've placed the most engagement in these spaces. So this is our signal that this is where they want to be. Whatever we engage engages us. Whatever we engage the most engages us the most. It's the way the system works. It's the way the design has been set up. But once you start to understand, get a glimpse of this system, and you start to play with it, even if you're not positive about what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're doing it, but you start leaning in and trying. A lot of people, this is affirmations. First off, this is just writing down on Post-its, phrases that help them redirect that resonance, that wave, that broadcast, that feeling, that thought, that spoken word, that help them redirect it and reset it into an alignment of something they do want to invite into their lives. They do want to receive a beautiful, customized party favor package from. And so they write affirmations. That's a very good general start point. I shared in many of the other podcasts some of my favorite affirmations when I began doing this. And what's really cool about affirmations is in the beginning, when you work with affirmations, you're reprogramming your mind. You're retraining yourself to leave a resonance, a vibration, a broadcast that you've been doing maybe your whole life. And you're training yourself to broadcast and to allow that new flow of you out of your mouth, through your words, inside your mind, through your thoughts, within your feelings, and that infiltrates your body. It goes into your waters. It goes into your muscle memory. It goes into all the ways in which you're being you, vibrating, emanating, being you. And eventually, you do not have to read the affirmations anymore because they've become your default setting. You believe them so wholeheartedly that they are who you are. You really live from that reference point. You're no longer trying to train yourself that you can be it. You have moved into a space where you realize you are it. Unwavering, unshakable. You are it. So some of my favorite affirmations that I would share here with you. This one's a little long, but it's good. It's so good. And when I was saying this, I was in a space of my life where I was saying it because I didn't feel like that was my life, and I was working to make it my life. Here's the affirmation. Everything I want and everything I need flows easily into my life. Everything I want and everything I need flows easily into my life. That's the affirmation. That's my number one that I loved. I still love it. And when I said it to begin with, when I first started the training program, I was removing myself from being told the opposite because the media, education system, most family members, most neighbors, most friends, most pastors, whatever, all the connection points of everyday world, most of the time tell you the opposite. They say life is hard. No pain, no gain. Money doesn't grow on trees. You got to suck it up. And all these other types of mindsets and phrases and beliefs that train us to feel like things aren't easy, they're hard. And even if we want to just allow the understanding that life can be hard at times, that's a potential opportunity, but we allow that to be coupled with or merged with the understanding that, yes, most of the time, it's very easy. And that if and when it's ever not easy, it's a moment that is a power play designed by you, created by you, specifically, masterfully, to assist you in moving into another level of you, a higher level, a stronger level, a more powerful level, a level of you that remembers your soul and your incredible, masterful, designed being. Yes. At a deeper, richer, more potent connective point, purer connective point, clearer connective point. You're finding more of you. I'm finding more of me. We're finding more of us as we're navigating the spaces that aren't always easy. But we don't need hard 24/7. That's not what this life was designed to be. This life was designed to be a space in which you and I and us, we could learn to remember our mastery and use it. Therefore, we would have spaces in which the mastery will show itself to us, and we will know that we know that we know we're learning how to play the game. We're having more joy in our life. We're having more freedom in our life. We're having better health in our life. We're having more fun in our life. We're having more depth to the connection points and the relationships and nature itself, our own being, our own heart, our own inner sense of being. We're having more depth in all of these spaces of us, more richness. We're landing more into this life. We're anchoring more into this life. And we're using it more. We're exploring it more, to remember more, to allow more, to expand more. And that's what consciousness does. And in the moments where it may not feel as if it's coming in easily, flowing in easily, in those moments, all of that learned, all of that expansiveness, all of that rich, deep connectivity that you and I are gaining and have gained, surges up, rises up, and meets the occasion. And the master expands. Yes. There are so many mindsets involved here that are extremely empowering. So many mindsets. I know that it can be big for some that are coming in the door and just really feeling as if they are leaving this space of themselves in which they felt very separated from mastery or separated from empowerment or separated from this space of their divine flow in their now. You, if that's you, or you remember that space of you, you designed this very moment, you resonate with this information, or you wouldn't be hearing me right now. So this alone is a message you sent yourself This moment right here is a message you sent yourself today, tonight, wherever you are on this planet as you're hearing this. You sent yourself this message to confirm to yourself that you're in the alignment of owning your mastery, designing, aligning, directing the flow. You know that when you have any experience, you sent the invitation for that experience to show up. And you know that if you don't want to have that party anymore, you don't want to go to that show anymore, you don't want to show up for that specific story anymore, then you have to change the invitation. What are you inviting? If you're frustrated with a certain aspect of your life or your world, you're sending out the invitation for that frustration to continue to show up for you. It cannot show up any other way without you engaging it. Stop engaging it, and the invitation will no longer be sent. Put your focus somewhere else. Redirect your focus to something else that you do want to engage with. There is so much beauty in this world. There is so much joy in this world. There is so much incredible interconnectivity of life and happiness, inspiration and encouragement. Put your focus there. Engage those spaces, and those spaces can then engage you. You're designing it. You're directing it with what you choose to focus on, with what you give your energy to. We talked once about how we looked at the word currency, and we talked about the currency of voltage, the currency of electric energy, the current flowing. And we talked about currency being a form of money, of the way in which somebody pays for something, and how there's that availability to see and understand the way we pay for the spaces we're engaging, the spaces we're choosing to connect with, we're feeding our focus to, we're talking about, we're getting involved in. We are paying for that engagement to continue to engage us. Be mindful of what you're paying for and make sure that's really the space you want to continue to grow and feed. Most of the time, we will find that if it brings you any frustration, if it holds any spaces of fear for you, if it holds any spaces of judgment, of anger, even rage, those are spaces that cannot heal, cannot shift, and will not change until you change the way you're engaging those spaces. Whatever your engagement level is at, if you're feeling any of those feelings and then some that I mentioned, then your engagement level is feeding those feelings. It's feeding your frustration. It's feeding your anger. It's feeding your rage. It's feeding your whatever it is. So whatever experiences you're having, relationships, work, whatever it is, health, the way you feel about yourself, every single aspect of life cannot engage you unless you're engaging it. And people will say, yes, but if I do this, I can change it. Not if it's an outside action. The inside actions change the outside experience. It doesn't work the other way. It's against science. It's against the understanding of energy. You can do things in your life, in experiential spaces of your life, in the outside world connections, relationships, and so forth that are in alignment with what you're solidifying through your beliefs and your broadcast on the inside.
Yes.
But be mindful that you're making connections with your outside actions that are in alignment with the truth of what you want to see in your life. If you don't want to fight with that person anymore, you have to choose to stop fighting. You have to choose to reset that space. And sometimes that means the space is a space where people can talk about other things and not have whatever they're fighting about be the only thing that's, in the relationship. And they're able to have a beautiful relationship, but no longer engaging a space that was not healthy for that relationship. There's many other things to engage.
Yes.
And then sometimes it doesn't work because one of the individuals is able to stop that engagement and the other one's not. And they keep bringing it to the table and they keep digging it up and they keep wanting to go in that alignment. And the other's done. It's a timeline they no longer align with. And then everybody gets the opportunity to reset and or begin to kind of go their own ways. And there's just so many variations of how that can play out. But be available. Be available to really be truthful with yourself. It's so easy to put on lenses or look through old belief structures and read your life and say, but this is the right thing for me to do. I know it frustrates me. I know that there are spaces of this that I don't like, that make me angry, that trigger me. So I have to do this because this is the right thing to do. If what you're doing is connected to something that triggers you, you are in a denser, slower flow of yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can stay there as long as you want, but it will not change. It'll just cycle. It'll just loop. You think what you're doing is going to make a change, but all it's going to do is create another experience a year or two down the road where you're going to have to do that all over again, just the same way, because nothing's changing. Everything is just continually running the loop. So you have to get really clear. You cannot read your experiential spaces that you're triggered by. You can't read them through your lens of ego or your lens of the now self. If your human's reading that for you, I was going to say, God bless, but if your human heart and mind alone, without this sovereign higher mind, higher heart connection, if that means the separated self, the I'm hurt because you pissed me off, the I don't like it because it isn't exactly the way I want it or I think it should be. This is a separated self. It's very judgy. It's very manipulative, very controlling, gets angered very easily. And when it gets angered, it almost woof, because it's not able to ground its energy through its essence and allow its awareness. So if you're registering and reading your experiential spaces that trigger you, and you're reading them through your separated self, your now human being that you see in the mirror without any connection of your higher mind and higher heart, then you're going to continue to repeat the loop you're in. This is what this matrix thing was all designed to do. It was designed to create a perpetual cycle, basically one continual conflict after another, one continual reason to be divided after another. But many, 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 many humans now, they see it. They see it. They have so much awareness that they're not playing the game anymore. They're not showing up for that party anymore. They're not sending out that invitation anymore. They're not receiving those types of alignments anymore. They can see them. They can see them. I see them. We see them. But we just know those are timelines we no longer align with. Those are timelines we no longer align with. And it's okay. There's no judgment for people that are finding a need to still get up in some of those spaces. Some of them are collective, and they like have a space of our religions or our politics or our education or our medicines. And so people have like really, really hardcore beliefs one way or the other, and they're determined to show up as they're now human and push that religion or push that thought about medicine or push that thought about politics or whatever it is. But all of these things, all of these spaces were designed to do just that, to tempt you, to feed your energy to it so that they could keep you separated out, and that means you're more controllable. Yes, it daunts the expansion of the consciousness. It stifles it because it keeps it wrapped in lower frequencies. It keeps it wrapped up in triggered by this and angered by that and enraged by this and terrified of that. And those are lower frequencies. And it's nothing wrong. It's all part of the process in general. It's all part of the process. And even the ones that are still feeding those spaces, there are many who are feeding them continually and they have no clue. They actually think they're doing a service for the world. And there are some that are feeding them some and then feeling like this doesn't really feel right. It's a little off. This doesn't feel like it did the last time I did it. This feels a little different. Those spaces are imperative to the expansion of consciousness, because if everything shot up and out all at once, it couldn't sustain itself. Consciousness itself wouldn't be able to sustain itself. The spaces of incremental change are what provide the foundational space needed for the anchoring of that change. So the spaces of increment are extremely important. Every space is valuable. None are judged as wrong or right or less or better. They are all part of the one space moving into the next alignment of it. So think about the invitations you send out. Are you inviting joy or are you inviting fear? Are you engaging and connecting in with the potentialities and the opportunities around you endlessly that have to do with abundance, prosperity? Or are you finding yourself feeding into, focusing on, giving your energy to spaces that are that old system? They're connected to that old system. Whether you see yourself on the right side or the wrong side or the middle, there's still the system, the old world. And so we can either invite more of the old world or we can invite the new world by leaving completely these alignments and these engagements and being broadcasts of what already is. Sacred divine flow within form, having a now. All right, holy ones, I lay this at your feet. Questions, comments, feedback, please reach out, message, comment below, share your thoughts, I'm so grateful as we do this space together when you share. I look forward to all these connection points. So we'll be talking soon. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.